Hello and welcome back to my channel. Today is January 21st, 2019 and I'm updating on day number 10. Today's video might turn a little bit emotional. I am going to share about something that happened a couple of days ago and really want to put it here because it's going to help me a lot with my weight loss and it might help other people in the process, and I hope it does. My only concern was that it might be very scrambled and maybe just not well put together, but I will give you guys my weigh-in first, and if you want to stay until the end to see what my experience was and what I'm about to share, I would love to listen to your comments and thoughts about this particular thing because it was just so different for me.
215.6 pounds.
We're back on track with this weigh-in. Very excited, and let's move on to the story. I'm so afraid to share this. I'm afraid to be judged. I'm afraid for people not to understand. In order for you to understand where I'm coming from and why I was feeling the way I was feeling a couple of days ago, I would need to start from the beginning. If you go back to day number 1, since I started this quest of getting serious about weight loss and using fasting and not going back and forth with it, but just really be committed to it, day 1, today's day 10, you will see that I'm talking about feeling comfortable. Unfortunately, I erased that clip from my phone, so I cannot insert it here. So you will need to go back there to hear what I'm actually speaking about. What I see on that first day is somebody that was content with her weight. I say on that video that I feel comfortable the way I look, that I'm happy with what I see in the mirror, and everything has changed. After this experience, it happened out of the blue. I don't even remember what I was doing. I was probably just thinking about what I was going to talk about on my next video. And all of a sudden, I just have this mental clarity about my weight loss journey and why I've been stuck for so long, why I haven't lost weight, also why I gained so much weight, and why yo-yo dieting and being bulimic at some point in my life, trying to lose the weight, trying so many methods to lose the weight. Why did it happen? What was it that was keeping me from moving forward? I'm going to try very hard to not edit out too much out of this video because I want to keep it to where other people can relate themselves to this. I'm sure I'm not the only one that thinks like this or has been through weight loss struggles throughout their life, and you could probably relate to some point to a couple of things that I will be sharing. So let's get started. The first time that I ever remember getting on the scale, I remember I was 10 years old. I was an only child. I grew up only with my mom, but she started getting very sick when I was 9, and I started taking care of my mom at 9 years old. So I became my mother's mom when I was 9 years old. And ever since then, until she passed away, I took care of her during my childhood years, my teenage years, and part of my adult life. I remember people calling me fat, even though now that I recall, I wasn't fat. I was a normal child. Growing up, I kept remembering that we were always struggling with food. There was many times that because of my mom's illness and that she couldn't get up from bed, and I practically had to do everything for my mother, change her diapers, do everything for her, just basically dedicated my whole life to her. But being a child, going to school, and seeing my mother so sick, there were many times that there was no food at the house, and that sometimes neighbors would give us food. I remember this neighbor, it was mainly cookies, and that's what we would eat. And I would go to school, and I remember always saving half of my meals so I could take for my mom to eat. I don't want to cry, but That's why I said that it's very emotional, because when I wanted to share all this, I just kept crying because it just like it all hit me at once as to why I've struggled with my weight for so long. I think I became this person that would eat when there was food, because I knew in my mind that there would be some times that no food would be available. I don't ever remember being skinny. I don't think I ever was skinny. I was always more on a little bit on the heavy side. Long story short, life went by and I gained a lot of weight. I never thought about my weight being a problem until I started watching videos and I started seeing that there was a weight loss community, and I started watching and getting very motivated by other people. I came across videos, people talking about what anorexia and bulimia was, and all of a sudden hit me something that I thought it was normal, that I never thought I had a problem. I realized that I was bulimic. Basically, I had been bulimic for the last 2 years without even knowing, without thinking that I had a problem. And that's when I decided that I needed to do something about my weight, and I needed to do it in a very informative way. I needed to get information. I needed to do it the healthy way. This was about 8 years ago. So I was able to lose 50 pounds on YouTube, and got to 217, which is almost the weight that I am now. So after that, somebody made a very ugly comment that my face looked different. The same comments that I'm getting now about my face looking thinner, but they said it in a very ugly way, saying that I didn't look good and that I shouldn't lose weight. Because of the weight gain, I think that my self-esteem was just not there at all. So when I heard this, I automatically took it very wrong in the negative way, and I started gaining all the way back, thinking that I didn't look good and that I should probably just be overweight. After gaining all the weight back, I kind of tried a couple of things to lose the weight again and just get back on track, but one thing led to another. You know how yo-yo diets work, and I would lose 5 pounds, gain 10, lose 8, gain 20, lose 5, gain 10 more, and so on until I got to the whooping weight of 306 pounds. The pictures that you're about to see, they were not from my heaviest. After these pictures were taken, I gained another about 20-25 pounds. I was not coming out of the house. I remember driving to the fast food places at midnight because I didn't want nobody to see me, and I was in a vicious cycle where I was eating, sleeping, depressed, and just basically trying the next day to try the next new diet, and then just by the end of the day failing and just eating again. And it was repetitive day after day. I was feeling so sad and depressed that I believed that I was using food as a coping mechanism to make myself feel better about myself, just numb my emotions. I was just feeling so embarrassed. Honestly, I was just not coming out of the house at all. I don't have too many pictures that I can share. For some reason, I only have very few. On those pictures, I can see my face. I can see how angry I felt. I see in this picture, I see sadness. Oh gosh. All of this started happening because I was doing my vision boards back there, and in that little area I wanted to print out one of the pictures because in my mind, I didn't want to forget where I came from. I didn't want to forget who I was. After all of this weight gain, I decided to start losing weight. And the first 60 to 70 pounds, I did lose them with a lot of exercise, a lot of commitment. It took me a while to lose the 70 pounds. And just eating right, eating clean, just trying different methods. I did Zumba, I did Herbalife, I did Master Cleans, I did clean dieting, I did veganism, I tried so many. I got around 240 more or less. I started yo-yo dieting big times for the next 2 years or so, which was the last 2 years of my life. I've been going up and down the same 20 pounds, and I just could not understand why I felt so stuck. Why I just felt a disconnection and discovered that I suffered from a disorder called dissociative disorder. So many people that lose weight or have been very heavy and then they lose large amounts of weight, they go through something called dissociative disorder. There are others that are called body dysmorphia. Body dysmorphia is different as far as dissociative disorder. Body dysmorphia is like you're already skinny, but you look at yourself in the mirror and you still feel fat. You still look at yourself fat. So there's a little unbalance. Not that you're crazy or anything like that, but just like it's taking longer for the mind to catch up to the changes in your body. And I knew that was not what was happening to me. I felt like the person that was in the mirror, it wasn't me. And it sounds freaky crazy. So it has taken me a couple of years to actually recognize that I had a problem and to just allow my mind to catch up with my body. It's very hard for me to explain it right now without sounding crazy. It's not that I didn't like who I saw on the mirror. I really enjoyed the new person that I saw. I really thought, and this is where the crazy part comes. This is where it starts getting more crazy. So please bear with me without judging. Okay, it sounds crazy because this is where I start speaking in third person. Oh my god, it sounds so crazy. The person that I saw in the mirror, I sometimes thought that she was pretty. I thought that she was an attractive person. But I never thought that I was her. And I lived my life thinking like a 306-pound person. Everywhere I went, I was still afraid for people to see me. I was afraid of getting out of my shell. I was afraid of people complimenting me. I was afraid of I always thought that people made fun of me. And there was many times that by accident when I was walking, I would catch a glance in a mirror or a window. I'm sorry you guys. I know this video is taking it's long and it's probably sounds so crazy. But I needed to talk about this because I feel like I haven't really talked about this much. I haven't really shared this almost with nobody. And it would take me a while to acknowledge that the person that was on the mirror and the person that was smiling back at me, that was actually me. I know it sounds crazy, but I struggled with this for the last couple of years. And 2 days ago, I don't know why, it finally hit me all of a sudden why I couldn't lose more weight, why I was stuck for so long. And it hurt me because even though it was something positive, I finally understood that the reason was I was so afraid to let her go. I was so afraid to let, because I saw that I was the 300-pound girl. To let the 300-pound girl go. I was afraid every time that I looked at myself in the mirror and I didn't see her anymore, because I just got so used to being that person that I was just afraid to let her go. I had heard about this before, when people fast, all of a sudden they have more clarity in their mind, and all I can think is that now that I have gotten serious about fasting, that maybe this is why I got this like breakthrough. I don't know what to call it. I think I started crying for almost a whole day, and I started crying because I felt I was mourning, like suffering. I was finally letting her go, and not being afraid of finding the new person that I really want to be. And you want to know what's more incredible is that after I finally acknowledge that I'm a new person, it was like something heavy lifted from my shoulders. And that's when I saw that I was fitting into those old clothes that I was not fitting anymore. And then I took my measurements and I saw that I had lost a lot of inches. It almost felt like it happened during that process of letting go. And it's just like my body was just so grateful that mentally and spiritually I was ready for it. Just acknowledging the process of healing and growing and self-development, and knowing that everything happens in a physical and emotional areas in our lives, and that we need to acknowledge that mentally, physically, emotionally, everything is connected. Spiritually, if you do something that affects you emotionally, it's going to affect you in other areas, like mentally or emotional. You know, it's everything is connected. And finally acknowledging that making any changes in any of those areas is going to affect the other, it's what makes you really start the process of really healing and growing. When I started fasting, or deciding that I wanted to do fasting as a method of losing weight, I started about a little bit longer than a year ago, but it didn't happen. The changes didn't happen right away. It has been a lot of trial and error, but I know that fasting has been one of the keys for me to just finally break through and just be ready for this new person that I know I am already. And I was looking back at this video that I made just 10 days ago, and I can assure you right now that I am a different person, and that I don't feel content anymore, and I don't feel happy where I'm at, and I really want to reach my goals. I'm ready for the new me. I can feel it. 2 days ago, a new me was born. My way of thinking has changed so much. I was transformed.
Oh, he's so handsome, what's his